Dick, I can tell you really like talking about all the people that you're hiring, and you're involved in a project called the Job Creators Alliance with a guy named Bernie Marcus, who used to be the CEO of Home Depot. Tell us a little bit about what this effort is all about and your involvement in it.
Well, having been a job creator myself at the CEO level now for well over 20 years, I was delighted to meet Mr. Marcus and also Home Depot, as you indicated, his firm, or Staples, another well-known firm. There's about 2 or 3 dozen CEOs that got together to create this Job Creators because they want to make sure that the small business had a voice, not just the large business. And they want to make sure that we had a chance to go back in and say manufacturing means something. Creating product, creating value, creating wealth. What is everybody having these forums about? They're about jobs. Well, where you create jobs is in manufacturing, by designing, engineering, tooling, processing, producing, doing all the logistics that have to be done. I've seen it happen for my 50 years that I've been in the automobile business, and I want to continue helping, and so therefore I'm lending my voice also. We're going to have a large forum gathering next month in April down in Palm Beach, Florida, and Mr. Marcus and myself and others will meet with government leaders. I think the former governor, Jeb Bush of Florida, will be there. A former Republican presidential nominee, Herman Cain, will be there. I'm very happy to meet with those men. Most of them don't have manufacturing backgrounds. I have a powerful manufacturing background, and I'm trying to get into the government heads, trying to get into the administrative heads, trying to get into the founders of different firms, be it Home Depot or Staples or whatever, because we want to create jobs. We want to put people back to work. We can't afford to have as many people unemployed today as we did in 1930 in the Depression. In 1930, we had 12.5 million people unemployed. Today, we have 12.8 million unemployed. Well, that's a lot of folks.
Sure.
They need jobs. And the great difference that occurred from previous recessions and recovery to today's very weak recovery is that manufacturing has eroded away. Over 42,000 factories closed in America from year 2001 to 2012. And the average factory employed over 500 men and women. Well, that goes anywhere from Nebraska to California to Texas to Minnesota to Rhode Island to Michigan. So I want to get back in here and say, if we do things like American Drive, nowhere was it tougher to rekindle the spirit of work ethic and quality of work and integrity of work and flexibility and fluidity, etc., than in Detroit, Michigan with American Axle. Today, we've just finished 10 straight years of less than single-digit PPM. That's how you measure quality in the auto industry, parts per million. We have near perfection in America and throughout the world. So I'm not worried about Americans as people. They will work. We'll get the work ethic. We'll get the quality. We'll get the output. America used to be powerful and strong because America was notorious for making things, creating jobs, generating wealth, and adding creativity and innovation. We can still do that, but we have fewer people that have aligned their own career to do that. So we're trying to get younger people more excited about manufacturing. We're trying to get other companies to reshore or do other things that will assist us to create jobs and drive the gross domestic product here in America. We still have a great strength of 12 million men and women that get up every day in America and go to work in manufacturing. We're still about 12% of the GDP, and we still do about 50% of the private R&D. So it's not like we have gone away. There have been economists and other pundits that have said, well, we don't need manufacturing anymore. They're 100% wrong. It's hogwash. We need to make things. We need to generate production. We need to create new products, and we need to do it globally. We must remember that 95.5% of all the good Lord's people in the world don't live in America. So if you want to really find out where you can get new growth, you've got to look outside the U.S. You've got to look out. You got to look throughout the world market.
Does that mean, given your experience, the government needs to be more involved And if so, how? Or is this something that really needs to be, should be, and is best market driven?
Well, certainly the government does need to be more involved. And the reason I say this is because most of the policies that have put us in the difficult spot we're in today have come directly out of Washington, D.C.
Right.
We've got taxes that are just way enormously too expensive. We've got burdens on regulation that are just far too cumbersome and too expensive. We've got different benefits for employee benefits that are out of proportion. We've got tort reform that needs to be given consideration. If we're going to do any of these things, Daniel, they all have to be done through and with the government at the national level.
But it sounds like what you're suggesting is you have to the government has to do less, in a sense, and unburden business as manufacturing, as opposed to having specific industrial and manufacturing policies.
Well, I think a little bit of both could be appropriate. The government needs to have new national policies that would help manufacturing not have a 20% burden that we carry around right now. Against our 9 most favored trading countries in the world, there is a 20% disadvantage for American manufacturing. Mm-hmm. So you can see where a CEO or the job creator, whoever that final job creator decision maker is, oftentimes will take the path of least resistance economically, because it's a whole hell of a lot more expensive to do things in America normally.